Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Jenny from Polly's Paper Studio, and you are watching the fifth and final day of our Flower Week series. It has gone by so quickly. I've had so much fun sharing all the tips and techniques with you. So today is going to be the most requested flower subject that we've had, and that is how I arrange the flowers before I add them to my project. So we're going to cover that today. And before I start, I want to mention that I'm using the beautiful Authentique collection Pleasant. There are little Birdie crafts flowers and trims from Really Reasonable Ribbon. And also, before we get started, I want to give a special shout out to my youngest fan, Piper, who is watching with her grandma Susan. Hi, Piper. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully you're learning some things too and have fun crafting with your grandma. So let's make this project together. So I've got my card base prepared, and I'm using the Pleasant collection. This is new for fall from Authentique. This is a lovely collection that is a very fall inspired, not just Thanksgiving. So it does have some of the iconic holiday images, but the colors are not like a brown and orange. They're more of a chocolate and pumpkin, and then they've mixed in some yellows and blues. So it's really an updated classic collection. And so I'm just choosing to mat the patterns. I've got a double matting for this one. Actually, this is almost a triple matting. I've got the pattern paper here, and then a die cut doily and some more vintage buttons and some of that gorgeous wood grain on the bottom. I've popped up the largest of the layers that are inset, and then I've also popped up this beautiful sentiment that came off of the die cut sheet. So rather than it being a vintage image, which I always will love, this one just has a nice sentiment. So for the flowers, I picked through the little Birdie crafts flowers, and I picked a selection here that had the vintagey colors. So like I said, it's not like dark brown and dark orange, but it has some age to them. There are a couple of different kind, and this one is a Wendy Pearl Fall. This one is a Jessica Buttermilk, and this one is a Paula Fall. So it's a nice combination of different scaled flowers. So originally what I had done was to lay them out in a configuration that had these two, and then the same with the brown. And then when I started adding in the different other elements, I thought that it really needed something to brighten it up. So I took the brown out, and then I pulled this one in, and I thought that that would really help to not only give a little bit of life to it, but brighten it up. And this is a little bit larger, so it seems like a better anchor for the rest of the flowers. So then these have already got leaves attached, and sometimes I leave them and sometimes I don't. I like them for this project, and I'm going to leave them right where they are, but I also want to add some other foliage, and by that I just mean I'm cutting the leaf die, and I use this one quite a bit. I probably have 15 or 20 leaf dies, and I always really just like this one. So I cut that with brown cardstock, and this is solid core, so I don't have to worry about that white edge showing. And then if you can see it, I put some cinnamon stickles just on the edge, and that gives it a little bit more detail and a little bit of holiday something something. And then I've also got a couple of bows here. So they're just a brown burlap string. These come from Really Reasonable Ribbon. And then I've got a pre-tied bow that I added a few fall charms to that, a leaf and a tree, and then another one of those bows and a vintage button. I picked up quite a few buttons today at the vintage market, so I'm very excited to get to use those. So how I'm going to come up with the configuration of the flowers is that I want to start laying them on the card and see how they go for filling in the space. It's important to me not to cover those words. I want to make sure it's all readable. I like the bigger flower to anchor the arrangement, so it's going to go on the bottom left. And then I think that I like the leaves to kind of fill in that back corner. So that's going to fill in and not cover that text. Here is the smaller of the die cut leaves, and I know that I'm going to add that string, so it doesn't need to be so close. And this one will be on the bottom. Sometimes you have to remove one of the leaves and reattach it elsewhere to fill in, but I think that looks okay for my purpose. And I'm also looking at how it balances, so I'm going to add that bow here just to see that one side isn't heavier than the other, and I can continue to look at the arrangement. So these bows, you know, you can help yourself out in arranging them first before you add them, so that you know all the loops are going in the right direction. See, that looks very nice there. And then I want to balance that with another one here. That cat, can you hear him? He's in the background right there. See, now that is giving me a really nice shape. So this is going to be like mostly full of the larger focus flowers. And then look at these little teeny blooms, are very sweet, and those will help to fill in. So because I have the orange one up here, this is just like a mocha color. It's not as dark. And then I've got a few pumpkin colored ones here too. And that has got a different center, so that's going to add a little bit more detail. And I'm just sort of placing these around so I get a rough estimate of where I think it will go when it's all assembled. So one more here, and that sort of fills in that loop. And then maybe it's not going to show too much, but maybe back here, so that I've got a nice full arc. So now that I know where I think I want these to go, I'm going to pick them up one at a time and then begin to add glue. Now this is truth in advertising right here. This bad boy is just a hot mess, but I'm going to use it because it keeps the glue from getting on any other surfaces, and if I forget to unplug it, then I don't have to worry about it causing a fire. So I'm going to start with this large one. I'm going to hang on to it here, and then because I know that's the next one down, I'm just going to add a bead of glue to the back and put that where I think it will go. Now this is one stuck together unit, and I'm just really holding it over that arrangement so that I know I'm getting everything spaced correctly. So now I know that this one goes here, so I'm just going to put my finger here temporarily and not hopefully glue myself to this project. So this one, and I like the leaves out, remember, so I want to put that going in that direction. I am really holding these together so they get a good contact while I'm working around. And I'm just even gonna try that in place so that I know I'm not going too far in either direction. So I think next I want to add the loops of the twine, and this is just another please don't burn yourself moment, but I usually do. And that is needing a trim, so I can clip that off. And then next, see, now it's just really hugging that text. That's exactly what I wanted. This is going to come in next, and this is doesn't have a whole lot to glue to, but you can get enough on that stem to keep it in place, at least temporarily, temporarily until you get it adhered permanently. Make sure as you're going along that you pull the tails off of that glue, otherwise it will make you crazy trying to get them out later. So one more twine bow, and it was going to be right here. And then one more. This is the larger of the two leaves. They call it a flourish, but I think if you just have a favorite leaf die that you can go with that, because it's just going to be a filler more or less. Okay, it scooted over. Don't worry, I'm not hiding those words. It just kind of worked its way around a little bit. So now you can see that everything stays on and nothing is covered that shouldn't be. Sometimes I put these in before I tack it down, and sometimes I just see where they fall when everything is adhered. So let's put the bow on first, and that will help me to keep everything balanced. And I don't want to go over the side or cover the words. And I just put a little bit more of that hot glue on, and I'm pressing it down until it sets up. And so now I can add these. What I want to do is lift this whole thing as a unit. Now you see how it all sticks together. Add a generous amount of that glue all the way around. And because it has a little bit more glue, it will give you a little bit more time to work with it. Get that string. And it's going right here. And make sure to hold it down long enough for it to be in place. Now for these last few, remember I wanted to put the pumpkin colored ones here and then the chocolate colored ones at the top. So let's put this one in right here. That is really cute. And then one of the orange ones down at the bottom, it will be covered a little bit by the twine, the string, but I think that will be okay. And that is just going to fill that in. So we have two more. You can decide if we really like them or we want to leave them off, but I like them. I think that it fills in that space nicely. These had some additional colors in that package, so sort of a buttery yellow and a mocha. And so if that's what your card is going to be, more browns and beiges, that would be pretty. And then this last one is going to go at the top, and I've decided that I think that twine may be scooched over further than I had hoped, so I'm going to use it to hold back those loops a little bit, and that will keep everything in place. So maybe this needs a trim too. It's just a little longer than I hoped. There are other things you can add to these arrangements, like cheesecloth is really pretty and it fills in a lot of space and adds a lot of texture. Or if you have some favorite stems of foliage that would be like just regular craft store has certain holiday embellishments on it, you could put that into, or even another bow over here if you liked it to be really full. So this is our final video in the Flower Week series. I'm so sad it went by so quickly, but I did have a lot of fun and I got so much nice comments from everyone, and it was such a great experience. So the next two series that we have coming up is going to be, next one I want to do is revisit and remix some of our favorites from Polly's over the years. So there are cards that I really loved, but I think as all of us do, we gain tools and we gain skills and different embellishments. And I think if I took some of my favorite projects from the past and rework them with new gorgeous paper and all the new embellishments that I have, we could give it new life. So let's do a week of revisit and remix. And then after that will be Halloween. Tech Hubby has already completed our intro. It is amazing. You guys are gonna freak out. He did such a good job, and I appreciate everything he does behind the scenes to make Polly's look so good. So thank you for that, and I cannot wait to share it. So that is probably, both are going to be, I think, in September. Why is it so early? I think it just because I want to be able to share some projects and give you guys time. If you're interested, you know, in creating some too, you would have time to get supplies and make them, enjoy them for the holiday, because like I put up my decorations really early because I want to enjoy them and it's a lot of work. So if you are interested in that, look forward to September because we're going to do 2 series. The first one will be a week, and then the second one, the Halloween one, will be the 13 days of Halloween. So that's almost 2 weeks. That's a good long series. And so I cannot wait for that. I'm really looking forward to it. Okay, so that is all for this project. If you enjoyed it, give me a like, leave me a comment. And if you're not already, I would love for you to subscribe. I just want to thank the OG from Polly's for sticking with me and all the new followers. I hope that you are enjoying viewing our project. I want to wish everyone a happy and productive day, and I thank you so much for watching. Bye.